Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline, and today I am going to do a part two to the conversation that I started with Mr. Morrison. Well, I can't wait for you to get to know him a little bit better as we journey together through this podcast. And so here it is, part two. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Growth by Design Morrison Lead podcast. And today I have with me Mr. Morrison.
Hello, everyone.
As we move forward with the podcast, and we want to talk a lot about leadership, life leadership, leading our own lives. And so I'm going to pause for a moment and just double back a little bit to the fact that we met when we were teenagers.
Hmm.
And so we're moving into another phase of life. We're
Hmm.
moved into another phase of life where we've married and have three grown boys
Hmm.
and
Young men now. Yeah.
young men,
Hmm.
and two unmarried young men.
Hmm.
Um,
One married, yes.
one married and
Hmm.
two unmarried young men. But of course, our baby's only, in my estimation, our baby is still in his early 20s. So, yeah, I wanted to have you just share your version of that and how we met.
Hmm.
And today, in particular, in this episode, I wanted to talk about life leadership.
Hmm.
You know, how one you it was life leadership. Wanted to talk about life leadership. It's sort of a phrase or something that a lot of people talk about today, but I would say over 20 years ago, we had been leading youth ministries, leading youth groups, and had an organization that was focused on teaching youth leadership to young adults and teens.
Hmm.
And so 20 years ago, we were talking about life leadership. Today, people are talking about leading your life well, self leadership. But I remember you really insisting on whether it be at home or whether it be in community, whether it be in the workplace or wherever we would be,
Hmm.
the importance, especially in your job, you were working as youth and within Christian ministry type service.
Hmm.
I said type service,
As a
but
youth pastor.
yeah. And so a lot of your work really was being leader to others.
Right.
And so there was this phrase life leadership.
Hmm.
So I want to ask for you to talk about what does it mean when you say we want to do a podcast and or lead an organization that talks about life leadership. What is life leadership? I'm going to let you look into the camera while I go off here
Right.
to talk about life leadership.
Yeah. Well, life leadership really is about, uh, having a clear vision for your life, really understanding what your values are, and the impact that you want to make in the world. So
Hmm.
it's about being focused and purposeful as it pertains to your life and the development of your life.
Hmm.
uh, so uh, when we're young, or when we're younger, uh, we may not necessarily be totally clear on you know what our vocation is going to be, what our job's going to be, all of those things, you know take time to be clear on, but the development of one's character, making sure that
Hmm.
you how you deal with others, based on your principles, based on your values. You're clear about that, and it's really having that
Hmm.
foundation, developing that foundation. Now it's interesting because you know uh, from my perspective, and I think that's one of the things that why I'm excited about growth by design leadership and arts, and what what you're doing, Jacqueline, with the growth by design leadership and Morrison lead. Excited about that because sometimes um, you want to mentor. Um, Really, what this is about mentoring and helping um, youth and young adults and even older individuals, families,
Mm-hmm.
um, benefit from the experiences that we've had,
Mm-hmm.
and in terms of developing our building our lives and our family. And there's some really really great life lessons that have come
Right. Mm-hmm.
out of our time, uh, individually and collectively. And so to be able to transfer those experiences and be mentors and share our experiences, and and what we've the good, the bad, and the ugly, of it, and to be able to share that so that others can benefit. I'm very excited about that, and really to talk about paying it forward, and this is an opportunity to do
Mm-hmm.
that. So life leadership, as I said, is really about understanding and learning how to lead our lives well, building that foundation, having a clear vision, and really being committed to executing that. And we can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
We need to journey with others, and so these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. You're going to be focusing on, and we're going to be focused on as an organization, and specifically as it pertains to this podcast. But that's what life leadership really means
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of definition, overview, and yeah, excited about the journey.
Oh, thank you much. All right. As I thought about the the journey, is I like to say, in that life is really not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, and wanting to do the podcast, to be in this space, to really share about
Right.
enjoying the journey. And so there'll be conversations about some of the challenges that comes with being able to lead our lives and lead our lives well. Let me ask you, when it comes to individuals leading their lives, and say for example, as you are, getting into another phase of life, I always talk about the fact that we can only lead our lives, and then others will follow. And while we don't lead it alone, we do lead it alone,
Mm-hmm.
because we're, responsible for our own selves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard though sometimes for people to um, just see it as their total responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
There's often times where, it's not my fault, because the
Mm-hmm.
circumstances around of life, the some things happen in life that are unexpected. Things happen in life that we don't anticipate.
Mm-hmm.
And so when those things happen, and we're saying you still responsible to lead your
Right.
life,
Right.
what do you think one thing people can do to make the decision easier as it pertains to leading their lives?
Right. So, even as you were talking, I was kind of percolating on the question. And I think from a personal perspective, coming out of my background, I believe that we're not just natural beings. There's a spiritual component to our lives. And one thing that I would say is is key to the process of being able to lead one's life well is that we need to be brave. It
Mm-hmm.
takes courage
Mm-hmm.
to lead your life well. It takes courage to admit that things may not be going in the right direction. It takes courage to be reflective,
Mm-hmm.
right? To be introspective, to to take ownership of where one is,
Mm-hmm.
right? It takes courage to ask for help,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Totally
It
agree.
takes courage to ask for help, and first of all to know that you to know that you need help, right? It
Right.
takes something to identify. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I need some help over here, and to ask for help,
Mm-hmm.
and to seek for help. And
Mm-hmm.
I would just say that, without getting into a litany of other things,
Right.
I would say the first thing is that it takes courage. One has to be
Mm-hmm.
brave,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and bravery. When you look at the definition of bravery, it doesn't mean that you're not that there isn't fear involved,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Bravery is moving forward and engaging even though there's fear,
Mm-hmm.
you
To
know.
have heart.
Yeah, yeah,
Take heart.
it
Take
exactly,
courage.
it's
Yeah.
like that film Braveheart, right? Way back in the day. But the point being is that it takes
Braveheart.
courage.
Who was that with?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it takes courage, and I would say that is a foundational piece of
Mm-hmm.
being able to lead one's life well, is
Mm-hmm.
that we've got to muster up the courage
Hmm.
to
Interesting.
uh, to to be introspective, take ownership of where we are in our journey, and if we need help, say I need some help over here. So that would
Mm-hmm.
be that would that would be the point I would share.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So if we need help, we need to um, be aware first
Mm-hmm.
of all, and I
Self
self
awareness.
awareness,
Mm-hmm.
and that could come through a litany of things:
Mm-hmm.
personal assessment, disc
Right.
analysis, and
Absolutely.
things that would help individuals to become more self aware.
Right.
To have courage, to take heart is an excellent example of what one needs to do to become
Mm-hmm.
as it pertains to leading your life well.
Right. And I would just say this, just even from, Growth by Design Leadership and Arts, it's an organization that's making a difference out in the community. But, even though we come from a faith background, not everybody may, share our paradigm,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
our perspective. But, we're not just about that. We're also about connecting with everybody and just speaking into the community, into the world,
mm-hmm,
and from our perspective, and the things that we've experienced and how that can be a benefit and a blessing to our world, right?
mm-hmm.
To our world, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
As we talk about life leadership more through the segments that we'll bring, it will be interesting to take a look at different people's lives and have people on who will share a little bit about their life
Hmm.
experience, you
Hmm.
know, their endeavors to lead their lives, and look at some of the outcome
Yes.
of decisions that they've made and where it's brought them, and so that the podcast itself will really help people to one, grow in their leadership
Hmm.
of themselves.
Hmm. Will help you.
Grow in their leadership of self
Hmm.
while leading others. I
Absolutely.
hope you've enjoyed this podcast as we talk about leading our lives, meeting Mr. Morrison here, who will be with us on future episodes. And I hope that you will go out and maximize your potential and live fully in your purpose. Talk to you soon.
Bye.